The A's head south to Phoenix, Arizona, and Sonny Gray gets the start in an interleague matchup with the Diamondbacks. Sonny's ERA is tops in the American League, as he is a prime candidate for this year's Cy Young Award. Tonight, Sonny will have his hands full as he faces off against one of the best players in baseball, Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks, along with a new manager and a youthful lineup, will indeed give the green and gold all they can handle. It's Sonny and the A's taking on Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks. Game 1 is next. We are in the desert, Phoenix, Arizona, for interleague baseball. We're at Chase Field. It is hot and the roof is closed, and as usual, some A's fans have made a little road trip, and why not? You don't come to Chase Field all that often. It's a nice ballpark, it's indoors, and we're looking forward to a Sonny Gray start tonight against a very good offense. So it's the Oakland A's and the Arizona Diamondbacks coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. When you think about the Diamondbacks, you think about offense, and you think about Paul Goldschmidt, Ray. He is one of the best in baseball, and we don't see him a lot because he's in the National League, but we certainly read about him a lot. He is awesome.
So when you look at the lineup, you say pitch around him.
That would be the guy.
Because he is that good. Paul Goldschmidt can hit home runs. You're going to see some long ones. Tape measure shots here at Chase Field. Very, very strong. Very, very good also around first base. He has stolen bases. He can do it all. But I think if you really look at him, you have to say somebody else is going to be. But this is a very good hitting ball club. But what Goldschmidt has done, he's going to be a Diamondback for a long time, if not forever, if Tony La Russa has anything to do with it.
And he's the kind of guy, he could win a Triple Crown someday.
That's a good
he
point.
is that good. So
Yeah.
Sonny Gray will start against this very good Diamondbacks offense. And Sonny, 26 start, best RE in the American League, but this is going to be a good challenge for Sonny Gray.
Well, he needs to throw the slider that he did against the Dodgers. First time they saw him, he struck out a lot of batters. In his last start, he had the strikeouts, but he also had 17 ground ball outs. You can see the mixture of his fastball, good slider with 2 strikes. He has a 12-6 curveball, changeups. He's just a very good pitcher with that extremely low earned run average, which is the best in the American League. But the one thing about him, 3 home runs that he gave up in his last start. Surprisingly, to have 17 ground ball outs, he had 3 home runs. For those to be hit in the air, to be able to go out by Tampa Bay. But he's an excellent pitcher. Just scoring some runs. Take your chances with that.
Well, Arizona will send young right-hander Chase Anderson to the mound. So Anderson in gray, and one of the best in gray against one of the best lineups in all of baseball. That is what we have for you tonight here on CSN California. Up next, a trip back inside the A's pregame live studios, and then back here to Phoenix for the ball game.
California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the new steak and egg breakfast burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear.
Well, old friends squaring off tonight. The managers, Chip Hale and Bob Melvin. So a nice little side story. It was great to see Chip Hale. He's doing a nice job in his first year down here with the D-backs. He is the man in charge. So those guys have worked together many times tonight. Opposite dugouts. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 105 degrees outside, folks. That's not a typo. 105 degrees outside. But of course, we're told that April games, the roof is open some, but once May gets here, that is it. The roof is closed. It is very, very hot outside, but comfortable inside as we get set for baseball. Lineup tonight for the Oakland A's. It looks like this. Billy Burns in center, Mark Canha at first, Josh Reddick in right, Danny Valencia at third, Stephen Vogt will be behind the dish, and then it's Brett Laurie at second, Jake Smolinski in left, Marcus Semien at short, and the pitcher Sonny Gray will bat ninth.
And I guess if you're playing at Chase Field, you should have a pitcher by the name of Chase. And that's who's on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Chase Anderson. We're starting against the Athletics for the first time, just coming off the disabled list. 5th start since returning from the DL. Fastball in the low 90s. A couple of different fastballs, but just the curveball and changeup. So 3 basic pitches for a starting pitcher, which is kind of unusual in a sense, but we'll see how he does against the A's for the first time.
Defensively for the Diamondbacks, and we're told it is a good defensive team. Peralta in left, Pollock in center, Inciarte in right, and then Lamb, Ahmed, Owings, and Goldschmidt on the infield with Wellington Castillo, the man behind the plate.
How's the scouting report against Billy Burns? What do you think, Kate?
I think he's going to swing at the first pitch, and Anderson, because the pitchers don't seem to learn, he's going to throw him a fastball. And he fouls back.
You know, Felix Hernandez, I thought his comment was great. He said, you know, as a pitcher, he said, I don't want to throw him a curveball. I don't want to throw him something other than a fastball. It's just I meet a bad location. And that's when Billy hit a home run to right center on Wednesday, the first pitch of the game.
So he comes back with a changeup.
And this is what Billy did before the in-house PA could say, because they normally say the time of the first pitch, but they have to wait because Billy Burns always swings the first pitch. On the road, lost his helmet, thought it was a triple, ends up being his 3rd home run of the season. All 3 coming in first pitches.
0-2 pitch, check swing. He did not go. Burns overall 298. That home run that we just showed you, his 3rd of the year. He's got 30 RBIs. He had a good series in Seattle. He was 6 for 14. And the homer, the double, he knocked in 3 and scored 4.
So the good curveball off the right-hander. He throws it hard like Sonny Gray throws his slider hard.
That one tapped right at home plate. Sounds like the young man likes his changeup.
Yeah.
So how much does he throw his changeup? Well, 24% of the time, and that's a lot. Chase Anderson. Fastball a little bit inside. Anderson is 27 years old. He was a 9th round pick in 2009. Went to the University of Oklahoma. And that one, Burns reached for, just got a piece of it. Anderson last year made 21 starts for the D-backs. This year, a little bit of time on the disabled list and a little bit of time in the minor leagues, but this is his 23rd start at the big league level. Payoff pitch to Burns is popped foul.
I always think that the more Billy Burns plays, and there the umpires, Jim Wolf behind the plate, Gary Cederson, the crew chief. But for Billy Burns, the more pitches he can see, especially against a pitcher that the A's have never seen. They've not seen this young man, so they've seen his curveballs, change up, a couple of different fastballs. And a lot of them.
So we got a 10-pitch at bat coming up. Canada foul and then Reddick here in the first inning. Fans still coming in on a Friday night at Chase Field. We are told that fireworks after every Friday night home game. Another foul ball. This one headed into the upper deck.
You know, somebody rubs up a lot of baseballs before each game. By the time Billy Burns finishes, they have to go back and get some more boxes.
Somebody right now is going, oh, man.
See, Mikey Thalblum does that, and Casey Chavez.
Trying to get out the mud. 3-2 pitch is lined foul. One hop skips into the seats, so the battle continues. I just thought long at bats like this, I think they're more frustrating for a pitcher. They're sort of rewarding for a hitter because you feel like you're doing your thing and you may end up with a base hit. Pitcher's trying to figure out what pitch can I use to get him out. Rolls that one toward Owings, who flips to first, and you tell Owings read the scouting report. He fielded it quickly and got it to first quickly. So Burns, after the long at bat, is retired, but he saw 12 pitches.
Well, somebody arriving late tonight hasn't missed much. They just look up and they see, oh, 1 out in the first inning. Billy Burns, 12 pitches, and that's a lot of pitches. And for a pitcher who really does start approaching 100 and they're out of a ball game, you don't want to throw 12 to the first.
So here's Canna. First pitch to Canna is on the inside corner for a strike. 254, 10 home runs, 48 RBIs for Canna. Most RBIs of any rookie in the American League. And a good pitch there. That's the changeup. Drops in at 83 miles an hour.
Boy, that is a good one, right over the top. Watch the movement. Starts outside and it sinks right back towards the middle of the plate. And I always think that a right-hander can throw that kind of a changeup. Jared Parker of the A's, one of the best from the right side.
And then comes up and in with a high fastball. So 0-2 with Reddick to follow. The Diamondbacks score plenty of runs. We'll talk about that as the evening goes on. The bullpen's been pretty good, but the starting rotation is full of youngsters. And that's hit hard. Nice play. Jake Lamb gets up, flips it across, dug out by Goldschmidt, 2 out. So Jake Lamb with a nice play.
Well, a nice play going to his left, but I'm sure Goldschmidt would appreciate it a bit longer throw or better throw. But Goldschmidt, a very good first baseman, as we detailed on our open. Nice play, taking a hit away from Mark Canha, especially with a couple of strikes. A short hop on the other end, handled nicely by Goldie, as they call him, and they call him anything because he can play.
So 2 outs, nobody aboard. Shift is on for Reddick. But the Diamondbacks rotation has a group of young starters, and they all have a chance to be pretty good, but they're sort of all in this together right now, and with young starters. And that one is looped, just foul. A lot of times you get the high pitch count and not a lot of innings. That's the situation that Chip Hale and Mike Harkey, right behind him, the pitching coach, have had to deal with this year. All promising young starters, but still learning, and Chase Anderson is one of them. Reddick gets jammed, rolls it toward Owings, out in shallow right field. Side retired, so Chase Anderson has a 3-up, 3-down inning with 3 ground ball outs, and it's time to get to work for Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray. And it's Ender Inciarte leading things off. Then Pollock, Goldschmidt, and Peralta. That is a very strong middle of the lineup for the Diamondbacks. Wellington Castillo and Jake Lamb, Chris Owings. Chase Anderson hits 8th, and he's the pitcher. And Nick Ahmed is the shortstop, hitting 9th.
Sonny Gray has faced one member of the Diamondbacks, Jared Softomaki. It's not in the lineup. But Sonny Gray has pitched well. He's wearing those nice strip socks for the backpack giveaway on September the 5th. Sonny Gray coming off a back injury a couple of starts ago. But did face Baltimore and Tampa Bay the last 2 after missing Toronto with the back issue. But Sonny Gray, a very good pitcher. And if the slider works, I'm sure the Diamondbacks have seen enough of Sonny Gray and the slider to know that 2 strikes, he's going to be dropping the hammer and throwing it hard.
So here's Ender Inciarte, right fielder. 4 home runs, 36 RBIs, good speed. So we hope the A's fans, well, they'll get to know the Diamondbacks a little bit over the weekend. And so will we, actually. Sonny Gray knocks it down, picks it up with his glove, underhands to first, and that's the first out. And they'll make sure Sonny's okay. Defensively, it'll be Smolinski in left, Burns in center, Reddick in right, Valencia, Simeon on the left side of the infield, and then Laurie and Canna on the right side, and Vogt as your catcher.
Let's keep in mind that Sonny Gray, his last start against Tampa Bay, of the 8 innings he pitched, 24 outs, 17 of those on the ground, and the first out of this game on the ground back to Sonny Gray. Only difference there, though, in that start was the fact that he gave up the 3 home runs. First time in his career he's ever done that.
We're still trying to figure out how that happened.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've come up with the answer yet.
I don't either.
Sonny facing A.J. Pollock. So a quick 0-2 to the Diamondbacks center fielder.
Yeah, but I'm a little amazed if you look down in the Diamondbacks area. Paul Goldschmidt, the next hitter, is standing almost next to the rail. I mean, the on-deck circle is about another 15 feet out, but yet, how do you swing? I mean, he is as close. Maybe he thinks the
maybe
rail.
There's a reason.
Yeah, the catcher, maybe he's the rail.
Valencia to first, and they just got the speedy A.J. Pollock. He's very fast. And close play. Valencia had to come charging in, and he was a little, I think maybe he lost his balance just a little bit throwing it, but he had just enough to get Pollock on a close play.
Well, the great thing right over the top, as he was stumbling and kept his balance by throwing over the top enough to get to Canna, who stretched nicely and just barely got Pollock hustling down the line. So another ground ball out.
And a good way to face Goldschmidt is just like this: 2 outs, nobody aboard. Goldschmidt is so good at this point in his career, Ray. What's happening now, he's starting to get walked a lot.
Sure. Should.
I mean, he has walked 97 times this year. I mean, just look at those numbers straight across the board. That's just 5 categories that he's in the top 5 in, top 6. But it's just part of the deal. 97 walks. He's second in the National League in that category. He will break Luis Gonzalez's record. Walks in a single season for the Diamondbacks. And it's a bit of a unique hitting style, Ray.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about it before the game. There's Luis Gonzalez's retired number. And Goldschmidt, he's just a big, strong guy. He really doesn't stride much.
Yeah. Takes really a short stride and stops, and then swings with just all upper body, plus starts his bat pointing down, but then gets it back in the hitting zone.
But if you just look at him, he's a big, strong guy, boy. He's 27 years old.
Well, you have to wonder, too, his approach, just knowing that they're going to pitch him carefully because of the monster numbers that he's put up. But be aggressive, but yet if you get a pitch.
Hits that one right side. Laurie has it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning with 3 ground ball outs for Sonny Gray. No score after 1 from Phoenix. CSN California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroad's free heritage events. If this sounds like fun to you, round up your posse and head to Roaring Camp. The desert is where we are at, folks. Phoenix, Arizona. Spend a lot of time here, of course, spring training. Ray, you spend a lot of time here in the off season.
You know, it's great for the Diamondbacks. They train over at Talking Stick Resort area on the east side on the 101 and then play here. So, I mean, it couldn't be better for the Diamondbacks people. That facility is so great. I've heard some of the Diamondbacks people say, let's just play all the games there.
It has actually that ballpark. And it probably holds 14,000, 15,000, but it has a little bit of a major league feel to it, that stadium.
Yeah, that's a great point because it's right off the freeway. And, of course, for the Diamondbacks and the Rockies sharing the facility, every day you drive by, sellout, you know, traffic jams, and they will be there. But it's Will Ferrell right in the middle.
Yeah.
Remember the
Diamondback greats. Ahmed to first. Valencia's out, and that's out number 1. True story brought to you by McDonald's. A's last visit to Chase Field, it was 2012, and the A's got swept. Seth Smith made that great catch, but Ryan Roberts, remember that night? The A's had that game in the bag, and somehow they lost on a 3-run homer by Roberts. And Trevor Cahill beat his old team. Ziegler got the save, and then in Game 3, Joe Saunders, the left-hander, dominated the A's. So it was kind of an ugly weekend, and I remember that Friday night game, and if I remember correctly, Ray, the A's were winning by a run or maybe 2, and there was 2 outs and nobody on base.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden 2 guys got on, and Roberts hit the first pitch, and you and I looked at each other like, well, what just happened?
Yeah.
Did we just lose that game? Downhill after that. That was 2012.
Turned out to be a pretty good season for the A's. Down the stretch.
That's right. That was June. So soon after that, the A's started to pick it up. Almost hit vote, 2-1 the count. Overall, the A's are 13-14 all time against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Former manager Bob Melvin, the Diamondbacks, and Chip Hale, of course, the current manager, worked under Bob Melvin. So it's great to see those two going head to head.
Right, Bob Melvin won a National League Western Division here for the Diamondbacks in 2007. He was the manager of the year that year. Threw one to Vogt is in there for a strike. So 3-2.
7 outs in the game so far, all 7 on the ground. Outfielders have to be very lonely so far in the early part of the game.
There's another one right to Goldschmidt. He'll take it himself. Steps on the bag. 2 away. What does Bob Melvin look like in a Diamondbacks uniform? Oh, there he is.
Second baseman, number 15.
That's our boy right there. See, I think he's mellowed a little bit. Again, this was 2005 to 2008. But he will throw a good argument out there at an umpire. He's pretty good at it.
And he believes strongly, as most managers do, you never want to get ejected. You want to stay in the game because you feel it's your responsibility to handle the game and kind of run the game. But he is not going to be lost for words. And with the new challenge system, you cannot argue a call that's made on a challenge. So it kind of takes a little bit of the fire out. But, I mean, for him to say, was that a pitch out, and he got ejected. So that's about as far as he's gone this year. That was the Coliseum, and where the Blue Jays were in town. And now the pitcher will probably be pitching tomorrow night. Felix Brant was on the mound in that game.
2-1 to Laurie. Laurie hitting .275. 12 homers, 50 RBIs.
That's a good pitch to lay off. That was the changeup that he's throwing very well, kept it down, and Brett Lord did not offer at it.
Came right at him with a fastball. Good swing by Laurie, and the count is full.
6 batters. 3 of the 6 with a 3-2 count. 12 of those pitches of the 33. Attributed to the first batter, and that is Billy Burns. Boy, it's nice this roof is closed.
It's about right. High pop-up foul. Well, we got in the car yesterday morning to go play golf, which that may not make us the smartest people in the world, but I did play golf yesterday, and at about 8:30 when we got in the car, it was about 90 degrees.
And you teed off at 9?
Yeah, it was about 98. Hit hard. Owings has it. Side retired. So 6 ground ball outs for Chase Anderson. Bottom of the second coming up. No score.
Backpack presented by Chevron. Techron Advantage credit card. On Monday, September the 7th, 15,000 fans will receive this stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear of Sunny and Sogi. Got Sonny Gray wearing those socks tonight. That backpack's going to look great. Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. That's what your backpack's going to look like, just those socks, right?
I can't wait.
Oh.
I got to make sure I get all the stuff in my briefcase out of my briefcase and into the backpack.
And you'll be wearing it on your back.
Exactly.
And you show Jack how to wear it, right?
That's right. Usually it's your kid who shows you his backpack. I'll be showing my kid, hey, Jack, check out my backpack.
Right. No, with the conversation we had about Paul Goldschmidt and they're walking him and how their teams are kind of pitching around, and for this young man, it's all up to him because they talk about the protection. Well, Goldschmidt, if this and Peralta is hitting well behind him, then sometimes they're a little reluctant, a little more reluctant to pitch him. But Peralta, free swinger, good breaking ball from Sonny Gray. You're going to see a few of these tonight, and probably a few of those swings on the hard slider.
1-2 pitch, and he goes with it again. This time Peralta lays off. Well, being in the National League, you may not have heard about Peralta much, but he's a good hitter. 67 RBIs. He's hitting .302. He's got 22 doubles, 8 triples. Another good young player for the Diamondbacks. Bounces that one to Laurie, who juggles after that ball took a big hop up around the chest area, and Laurie stuck with it. So another ground ball out.
So the hard slider, then the high changeup, and another ground ball out. Brett Laurie used his body to stop the ball. And remember, he's got a very strong arm, and he played third base, which moving over to second base, he can play anywhere he wants and still be able to get the ball quickly to Canada. And he's doing just that now in the outfield grass. This young man says coming over from Seattle is doing a great job. Wellington Castillo.
I think he likes this ballpark.
And the trade that was consummated by the once general manager of the Mariners, Jack Surincic. He made this trade with Mark Trumbo going to the Mariners for Castillo, and Jack Surincic has found himself dismissed today of his duties.
Yeah, that's the big news coming out of baseball today. So the immediate search begins for the Seattle Mariners as they look for a general manager. So 7 years in Seattle for Surincic, so he had time, but only 2 winning seasons in those 7, and this is the 7th year. So,
and after a very good season last year, it took him right down to the last day of the season to try to get to postseason with a wild card. They extended his contract.
Laurie leaps up, makes the catch. Nice play by Brett Laurie. Takes a hit away from Wellington Castillo. It wasn't hit real hard. Kind of a soft line drive, but still Laurie had to time his jump just right, and he did.
Well, look where he's playing. He's on the outfield grass, and then just a couple steps to his left, and then a nice angle. And man, he can jump. So great leaping ability for the second baseman and Brett Laurie. But boy, if you see that a hitter has great speed, you can see the infielders have to cheat in a little bit more. But with Castillo, that nothing against the catcher and his ability to run fast, but Laurie did play him a little bit deeper, and maybe helped him rob him of a base hit.
So here's Jake Lamb. But the Mariners, Ray, they've spent some money the last couple of years, and this year, actually, they had the 11th highest payroll in baseball. So they jacked up their payroll some, hoping to build on last year's success. Over the past 5 or 6 years, their payroll has been right about in the middle.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. But this year,
Cano, 240 for 10, yeah. And then Nelson Cruz, what, 58 for what, 3 or 4?
Yeah. Little flip job in the left, and Jake Lamb has a base hit. But it's not easy being a GM, and I think Jack Surincic, sure he knew that going in. And
still behind 2-0 in a fastball, maybe off the plate. Not exactly where Stephen Vogt had wanted it. But not hit that hard, but placed perfectly.
So that's the first hit in the game, and here's Chris Owings. Owings sitting in the 7th spot, 232, 4 home runs, 35 RBIs. He takes a strike. So the Mariners looking for a GM.
Well, they have to wonder also about Lloyd McClendon, the manager, because he was brought in by Jack Sorincic. And remember when Lloyd got the job, very deserving, because they thought he's going to be very apparent to the job in Detroit under Jim Leyland. They ended up getting the Seattle job. But there was some people questioning, well, wait a minute, why would you take a job with the general manager who only has a 1-year contract? And Sorincic was extended. But now a new general manager probably is going to have a say in who the manager is going to be, because they want to be able to work with the manager.
Yep.
And
you can't blame a new GM for, or at least maybe thinking about a new manager.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty common.
And we wish Lloyd the best, and he's a very good manager, good baseball person. But just like you said, when a general manager comes in, the working relationships now between the front office, general manager, assistant GMs, the managers, the staff, I mean, that has to be a good relationship. And again, not to say the new general manager would not work well with Lloyd, but at least he would have his say in who's going to bring in.
And the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, and Sonny Gray gets his first strikeout. It's Chris Owings, and the runner is stranded. 3rd inning coming up. No score. A's and D-backs.
Now fans check out DBTV as we go.
And photo, use hashtag CSNCA. Data strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. No score, top of the 3rd from Chase Field here in downtown Phoenix. Those two A's fans, wouldn't surprise me if they were here in March.
That's
said,
right.
you know what?
That's
We
right.
can come back in August when the A's are playing the Diamondbacks.
Maybe those people said, since we live here and watch spring training, let's just make sure that we get tickets in late August.
Oh, maybe right. Smolinski, Simeon, and Gray against Chase Anderson. First pitch sinker is low.
I remember when Jake Smolinski started against Tommy Malone, hit a home run, then hit another one, 2-home run game. We asked him in post-game about hitting right-handers after starting the game against the lefty, and he said it doesn't really make that much difference. Well, he gets to start against the righty tonight, and so sometimes it does make a difference.
One away. Some familiar faces in the Arizona Diamondbacks front office. I would say that's a familiar face.
That's the stare he threw at the pitcher, at the hitters, whenever he was winning 20 games 4 consecutive years.
Hope he's not FaceTiming with anybody, because that would be scary.
It's probably Roger Clemens, because Clemens could never beat the A's when Stu was on the mound facing the Red Sox.
Could you imagine FaceTiming with Stu? Like, yeah, whatever you want, I'll do.
What a great man. 4-time 20-game winner. There's 4 consecutive seasons winning at least 20 games and wearing the number 34.
Simeon hooks one into the corner, and the A's have their first hit. And it will be a double. So Simeon with double number 21 on the year.
Simeon came out and he was so happy. He said, I get to hit the first grip for the first time. Well, he gets a double like that, he may be there again tomorrow. And there's your off-speed slow curveball that floated in. Marcus Simeon down in the corner, and 1-out double, which is good because Sonny Gray can try to drive him in, or he can try to bunt him to third. I think the Diamondbacks are thinking it might be a bunt. Sonny can hit, though. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, Lamb way in. Goldschmidt now walks in onto the grass.
Yeah.
Sonny's going to swing. He bounces one toward the middle. Owings, the second baseman, has to quickly range to his right, and he does. And he throws out Sonny Gray.
Well, you could see the way he was holding his bat that he was going to try to sacrifice, but you could also see that he's probably going to bring his bat back and swing, and he does, and tried to hit it up the middle just past Anderson, but the second baseman Owings was there to handle it. A little bit harder, might have gone through the infield, but at least a double by Simeon, now at third base, where the old infield hit by Billy Burns could turn out to be big.
So here is Burns, who grounded out in the first inning after a 12-pitch at bat. And the first pitch changeup drops low. So the average now at 297. The best rookie batting average in Oakland A's history, Mitchell Page. 1977, Mitchell Page hit 307. He had a terrific year that year.
Yeah, raging Page. I mentioned about Billy Burns and over 30 infield hits, and this is important with Simeon at third base. Playing in a third is Lamb cheating in. You know, it's not really realistic to think about this, but you think with the ability that Billy Burns has to chop the ball and beat out infield hits, not be a bad guy to pitch around. To avoid
in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I mean, Marquetta hitting behind Billy Burns. This fastball catching the inside corner down the lower part of the strike zone. But Billy makes contact. The infielders know they're going to have to hurry, or the A's going to have a run.
And he swings at the 3-1 pitch, foul tip, so 3-2. And this infield is generally a very hard infield, and that includes around the home plate area.
It better suited for Billy Burns to get the low fastball so he could just slap and run. And the fastball in.
And it's lined to left, and that's a hit. And Billy Burns makes the big turn. Simeon comes in to score. So Billy Burns slices one down the left field line to give the A's a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third.
Well, fastball in, fastball down, slap and run, and that's Billy Burns. You can see the higher fastball, and the scouting reports are going to say that from the left side, which he's only been switch hitting about 3 years now, started in 12 in Washington, and when the ball is down, watch how he just hits down on the ball. And that's a great job of hitting the ball in the air. Left fielder Peralta had to get to it quickly to avoid Burns getting to second base.
It's one of the things I've been most impressed with Billy Burns, and the average is great, and we know the improvements he's made in the outfield, but he just does not hit the ball in the air very often.
That's right.
And if there's anybody in the league who should not hit the ball in the air, it's Billy Burns.
Yeah, even though he has 3 home runs.
Yeah, but very seldom does he pop a ball up.
That's right.
I mean, everybody's going to do it once in a while. And you see some of these guys who are really not power guys at all, and you see him pop up balls a lot.
Well, and you're exactly right about Billy Burns. I mean, if he's lucky, he might hit 5 in the season.
Sure.
But he's going to come up and have the opportunity to do so much more with his speed. hitting the ball on the ground in the infield, getting on base, causing havoc just like that. Throw overs, threat to steal. Man, just think when he starts to bunt better and more, and steals more bases. And that's where Ricky Henderson's going to have a great influence on him. He is just the beginning of greatness in this game.
Sitting on 25 steals. Not running, and Canna takes it in the dirt. So the count 2-0 to Canna, who grounded out to third in the first inning.
That was impressive. Castillo called a changeup, and with the threat of someone running, a lot of times the catcher will stick with the fastball. Castillo, though, staying, or at least that time, calling a changeup. Don't do it again. So you're right, Guy. He likes his changeup.
And it's a strike. 82 miles an hour. So you see 82, 83. That's going to be the changeup.
Well, you see the wiggle by the catcher. That's a changeup, and man, that is his go-to pitch. That's a great. It's either a 1-2 or a wiggle. That's a throw over. See, they changed it. It used to be rolling the thumb.
Now it's a wiggle.
It's hook 'em horns and a 1, or hook 'em horns and a 2. Coming from the dugout as usual. That's your fastball.
And I think what Anderson did right there, where he just held for quite a while, I think that to me is better than throwing to first.
And there is a sign for that.
Just hold.
Just hold. But I mean, that was done on his own because Castillo gave him a fastball pitch to throw. But you're right. I mean, if you think maybe he's going to be going, just kind of freeze him, because as a runner gets out, he gets in that kind of a sprinter's takeoff position. It's just like a hitter squatting down on like a Bagwell type swing, or Seager we just saw in Seattle. A lot of stress on the legs.
And he runs, and the ball's lined left field, base hit, and it's going to go to the wall. And Billy Burns hits the bag at third. Ron Washington waves him home, and it's an RBI double for Canna, and the A's lead 2-0.
Well, Mark Canna got a great pitch to hit. 3-1. Burns on the move. No sense taken if it's a fastball down the middle, because you could say he was in scoring position when he took off. Canna got the fastball, and he crushed it down in the corner. And of course, it Burns on the move. He was thinking about stealing. This time, though, he just kept running. And well, he's caught a break there that when it hit the wall, that it hit the wall and stayed in play instead of going into seats. But still, in fact, he keeps looking back.
No need
to second base on a straight steal. It's 2 outs. So if there's contact, you don't have to worry about finding it. So that's, again, something that he's going to learn to get better and better, because it's just slowing him down when he does it.
So Canna gets his 49th RBI. So the rookies, Burns and Canna, come up big here in the third inning.
And that man, Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien. So a whole bunch of rookies. Which is why this club, it's exciting to think about these young players maturing at this level and how much better they're going to get each year.
So here's Reddick, who grounded out to the second baseman in the first inning. Anthony's with a fastball first strike.
Hitters always love RBI situations and step it up a notch. Pitchers, of course, want to get a little bit tougher, knowing that a hit's going to score a run, but hitter loves it.
And this one's popped up. Left side of the diamond. Lamb, the third baseman, waits. He's got it side retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Athletics. The rookies come through, and the A's lead 2-0.
And follow the Athletics all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And that is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio stat, broadcast, statcast, and much, much more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
So the A's with a 2-0 lead. Big hit by Burns, big hit by Canna. So Sonny Gray with a couple of runs as he faces Anderson, Ahmed, and Inciarte.
I don't see Dave Stewart between innings, and I told him what you said about that FaceTime. I said, was it Clemens? And he said, no, but I wasn't FaceTiming either. But you were right on. He has the smile when you see him, but when he's down to business, he's all business.
Simeon throws in time, and Anderson, the pitcher, is retired. So 1 out here in the third. Just 1 hit allowed so far for Sonny Gray. That was 2-out bloop single by Jake Lamb. See Anderson hitting 8th in this lineup, the pitcher. Tony La Russa did that quite a bit when he was the manager of the Cardinals. So got to believe that Tony may have suggested that to Chip Hale. Tony's titled the Chief Baseball Officer. That's a good name.
Yes, it is. You know, I saw him doing an interview, and he was asked about Chip Hale's manager. He said, "You're a Hall of Fame manager. What kind of input?" He said, "I'm a resource." He said, "If he wants to come and talk, go talk." But he said, I don't really go down and tell him to do certain things. I mean, Tony La Russa's got the resume. 3rd all-time winningest manager in all of baseball. The 3rd highest, and now with the Diamondbacks, Dave Stewart is a general manager. Good things are happening in Arizona.
Well, he was obviously a terrific manager and good manager of the White Sox. I would say became a great manager with the Athletics.
Oh yes, absolutely. And into Cooperstown, that's why he said he would not wear a cap, because he respected all 3 organizations. The White Sox started, the A's, and then the Cardinals.
More action for Simeon. Straightens up, and a nice play to get Ahmed, and that's the 2nd out. So some of the great numbers, and there's a bunch.
I think one of the things he did, you see the championship in '89 with the A's, and then of course with the Cardinals 06 and 11. But during the unfortunate strike in 1989, almost created a strike and delayed the continuation of the World Series, he brought the team right here to Arizona, kind of towards the middle late, and said, just get out of the Bay Area, come down to Phoenix, get ready to rezone. And it was decided they were going to rezone. Probably felt he could have won more. He had 88 and 90 with World Series appearances, but the late Walter Haas, the Haas family, they only got 5 games in '88, 4 in '89, 4 in '90. So that's not good for ownership as far as World Series.
The only 2 guys that have more wins than Tony La Russa are Connie Mack and John McGraw. That's not too shabby to be 3rd behind those 2 guys.
Okay, I think, and Tony could have continued to manage, and he could have been 2nd all time. But I think he's just satisfied where he is, and with those 2 names in front of him, it's perfect.
Yeah, you weren't going to catch either of those 2.
No,
so
no.
It wasn't like you were closing in on them. Connie Mack managed for 50 years, right?
Well, he owned the club and couldn't fire himself, or was definitely
he was not ready to fire himself. Yeah. Strike outside corner, 2-2 to Inciarte.
Inciarte thought the ball a little bit off the plate, but Jim Wolf said no. And sometimes the reputation of a pitcher, being a good pitcher, is going to win the battle.
So now a full count to the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter. Bounce back to Sonny Gray in the 1st inning.
See if he challenges on 3-2.
And it's tapped toward first. Canna has it. To Gray, side retired. So 3 more ground ball outs for Sonny Gray. And we're through 3 in Phoenix, and the A's have a 2-0 lead. Baseball, log on to csncalifornia.com as our insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting for this 2015 season. He's got breaking news, video, special features, and more. It's only on csncalifornia.com. There's Joe hanging out with his buddies. Those guys probably read Joe Stiglitz, and then they really wanted to meet him, and now they're just sitting together, hanging out with Joe. Valencia takes low. Valencia, Vogt, and Laurie here in the 4th inning. A's with a 2 spot in the 3rd. There's a strike. A's with 2 doubles and a single in that 3rd inning. Up the middle, backhanded by Owings, throws in time. Sounded like a broken bat by Valencia.
Well, the movement of the fastball from Anderson, and on the right-handers, of course, a great changeup that he can throw mostly to right-handers by throwing it outside, not necessarily inside. You do not want the softer type pitch to come inside to the righties, away from left-handers.
Lots of ground ball outs for Chase Anderson. 9. He has not struck anybody out. The only fly ball out was Reddick's pop-up to end the 3rd inning. This pitch to Vogt is in for a strike.
This is a night for infielders to be sharp because Sonny Gray, just like Anderson, a lot of ground ball outs.
A little bit low with a fastball. There's your shift, and that's a good shift.
Always like to see the shifts on the infield to the pull, but in the outfield, almost straight away, except for center field, where Pollock is slightly into left center.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Well, it was down on Stephen Vogt. Off speed, a little bit low, but still looked pretty good turn coming in.
Up the middle. Goldschmidt makes the play. So Ahmed was staying at his shortstop spot when he made the play.
Stephen Vogt tried to go inside out. Busted down the line as hard as he could and forced a quick throw. But still Goldschmidt, complete player. That's twice he's had to handle the short hops and would come up with it. Like the short hops.
Big curve snaps in there for a strike to Lord. Glover a couple years ago. So he does that too. Laurie, a ground out to the second baseman in his first at bat. And that one right there, strike 3 called, and everybody knew it. So that's the first strikeout for Chase Anderson. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. A's 2, Diamondbacks nothing. MVP race in the National League. Do you like Harper? Do you like Rizzo? Cubs are having a terrific season. Don't forget about Zach Greinke. A pitcher won it last year. Andrew McCutchen or Paul Goldschmidt. We think those are the 5 top candidates in the National League for the MVP. And Goldschmidt's numbers are as good as anybody's. Harper, of course, the 31 home runs. Harper hitting .334, but I would say his team is probably underachieving the Washington Nationals. The Cubs are not underachieving. They're just a really good team.
I think I figured it out. The Diamondbacks front office wants the players to be fan friendly. Paul Goldschmidt is even doing that as he stands down the on deck circle next to the stands. Maybe sign a few autographs as he gets ready to hit. I think, though, right now, number 44 is thinking about Sonny Gray. Grounded out to second. First at bat.
Valencia was playing in on the grass for Pollock, as Pollock has great speed, and Valencia made the play and throws out Pollock. So 1 away, and here is Goldschmidt, his second at bat. Not surprised, he has power to all fields. You can just tell by his size and strength.
He hit a ball here the other night against the Cardinals. I'm looking up at the lineup in left center.
Up there somewhere?
Yeah, he hit evidently near that lineup up in the left center to the right of it, about halfway up. And Tom thinks, see the lineup there right in the center of the screen. He hit it about mid-section there. And Tom Caniati said it's the farthest ball he's ever seen hit here at Chase Field. Tom's been here 10 years. Former A's pitcher, knuckleball pitcher for the A's, and many years in the big leagues.
Well, Goldschmidt 2 years ago in 2013 finished second in the National League MVP voting. Then last year he was having another MVP type season, but remember he was hit on the hand by a pitch and he missed the final 2 months of the season, and he would have been an MVP candidate last year as well. But he missed again the final 2 months of the season.
And he has one of those team-friendly contracts that he signed long term, and he's going to do quite well though throughout his career.
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Diamondbacks add on to that.
Yeah, Tony La Russa kind of indicated that, although when a player signed a contract, but I think for Tony and Stu, and if there's ever a player they want to remain in the Diamondbacks uniform, it would be Goldschmidt. And same with Longoria. He signed a kind of a contract that was great for the Rays, but ended up signing an extension that's well over 100. I mean, definitely he can justify anything they pay him.
And Sonny Gray strikes out the MVP candidate. Second strikeout for Sonny Gray. With the Goldschmidt numbers and where he ranks in the National League since 2013. Third, and that's overall, folks. So he's a great hitter, not just a power hitter. Second most home runs, second most RBIs.
Well, the man who hit 755 wore the number 44, Hammer Hank Aaron. And pretty good number for a home run hitter, Goldschmidt.
But you mentioned his contract, Ray. Goldschmidt's contract runs through 2018. So 3 more years after this year. And then there's a team option for 2019.
With the total package, not what you expect
no,
to see.
No, it's not a huge amount.
With the players of his caliber.
I just get the feeling at some point in the next couple of years, you're going to read about an extension for Paul Goldschmidt that's going to keep him right here because he's a cornerstone guy, and I think it's important for teams to keep cornerstone guys.
There are guys like him who will sign those contracts that turn out to be great contracts for the team, but will say, I signed it, I'll live with it. And he just watching him play the game, and probably upset that he struck out trying to figure out Sonny Gray, but those are the kind of players you want to sign long term, to stay in a uniform, be your cornerstone.
3-0 to David Peralta. Peralta grounded out to second in the second. Good pitch there, keeping it away from Peralta.
Now with Sonny Gray with nobody on base, you can always think about in 3-2 counts, which he's already done it. He did it to Inciarte, and you just say, here they are, challenge him. Runner on base, you might think a little bit differently with the guy who has potential home run power.
Keeping it away from Peralta.
Also for Sonny Gray, when he gets a 2-run lead, he's got to be thinking, I have to pitch a shutout. Club might not score me anymore. But usually when he takes the mound, there's always the possibility of it being a low hit game and a shutout.
And that one is low, and Peralta takes it, and it's a 2-out base runner for Arizona. Sonny Gray coming into this start, as we showed you, the best ERA in the American League. 5th in innings pitched, 10th in strikeouts, and 1st in opponents' average against. The league hitting just 200 against Sonny Gray. Hot on his heels in that ERA stretch, though, is Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel is at 2.28. Kazmir 2.39. Price 2.42. And I'm sticking with what I said about a couple weeks ago, Ray, that I think Keuchel, Price, and Gray are the 3 top Cy Young candidates. Sonny's right there, and that's the most important thing. Wellington Castillo hit a soft line drive to Laurie, the second baseman, in his first at bat. 1-1 the count. outside, and now 2-1. There's the ranks for Sonny Gray. Remember, he's got a couple shutouts. Can't forget about that. So the wins, he's sitting at 12. Keuchel has 15. Price has 13. And Felix Hernandez also has 15. And now 3-1. So as we continue to pull for Sonny, I think maybe the most important thing, and granted, we've seen guys with not a huge win total win the Cy Young in the last 7 or 8 years, but I think when you have Keuchel, who's already got 15 wins, Sonny's going to need a handful more wins, I think.
Well, for Keuchel, he's led on a ball club that finds a way to win, and it's a special season for the Houston Astros.
So 3-1 to Wellington Castillo. He drives this one right center. Burns on the move, still on the move, and Billy Burns tracks it down. So a nice running catch by the A's center fielder, and the Diamondbacks do not score. 5th inning coming up, 2-0 A's.
September the 4th, that's when the A's take on the Seattle Mariners. Oktoberfest style beers will be available throughout the ballpark, and fans can enjoy German-themed entertainment and food. For tickets, visit athletics.com/Oktoberfest. It's coming up next Friday when the A's return. It'll be the Angels in town for 3, followed by the Mariners and the Astros.
Hey, long homestand, huh?
Yeah, another nice long homestand, so that'll be good. That area right there evidently is a pretty nice area, that the Sports Grill. Fans can buy a ticket, have a meal, watch a game. See that Coliseum also on the East Side Club, so it's a nice way to enjoy baseball.
First pitch to Smolinski is a bit outside. One of the good things about Chase Field, you can't miss it if you fly into Phoenix, because when you fly into Phoenix, you go right over top of Chase Field.
And it is all above ground. There's nothing like the Coliseum. The field is 22 feet under sea level. Not here, though.
3-0 now to Smolinski. A little bit of a quirky ballpark as far as dimensions go. And I say that not so much because of distance or anything like that, but the wall in center field goes straight up, and you can hit it over a yellow line. And the wall is very high out there.
Light air, though, allows for ball traffic.
So you got to follow the yellow line a little bit there. And that wall, or the yellow line actually, was 25 feet high. Ahmed has it. And Smolinski is retired. The rest of the wall is much shorter, where you can rob home runs fairly easily. That's just 7.5 feet high. So it's a place where an outfielder probably enjoys going back on a ball, wrestling with the fans.
And that's left field. As you go to right center, you can rob somebody of a home run, take a swing.
Why not? It's not that uncommon for a baseball to land in the pool in right center. There it is.
Well, right center at Tropicana Field Dome, they have the Ray tank. So here, you don't want to put your hand in a Ray tank, though. I guess they do, because they're supposed to be tame. But here,
well, it's right in the power alley. It's 415 feet from home plate is that pool in right center. So it's been reached many times.
How many of those fans, though, you think of the 2001 World Series against the Yankees? That fan said, I got seats to the game. Where are they? We're in the pool. Yep. What do you mean? Well, in right center field pool.
Or a couple years ago when the Dodgers ran out there and jumped in the pool after they clinched the division. That went over well here. Left center. It's hit well, and nobody's going to get it. It bounces up and into the stands, and Semien has his second double.
He might like hitting in front of the pitcher. So
just
like in the third inning, Smolinski ground out to third. This time Smolinski a ground out to short. Double by Semien. This time a double by Semien. This low fastball went down and got it. Good swing. Look, see the head down in the contact. What's the head? Right down. Watching the ball meet the bat and travel to a point where Pollard could not get it left center. With the hard warning track into the seats. So another double for Marcus Semien, and see what Sonny Gray is going to do this time.
Well, exact same situation. Runner at second, one out. Sonny's going to swing away again, and the pitch is a strike at the knees.
Sonny's one of those pitchers at spring training when the pitchers are told to stand there and not swing the bat. It sounds like he doesn't listen what he's told, because he swings and he runs hard. And there's always the concern, especially in spring training, where pitchers aren't going to be hitting.
Taken again, and it's 0-2. Got to hit it, Dodger Stadium.
Yes, he did. Sliced it down the right field line. That didn't test Puig's arm, though.
Burns waits in the on-deck circle. 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball. Sonny takes it. Sonny's going double ear flap. So he did not borrow anybody's helmet. He just said, Goose, I want a double ear flap. I want full protection.
Recognized the curveball. Nice block by Castillo. Tried to get a new ball from Jim Wolf, but he wouldn't give it to him. Well, it's going to protect both sides just in the event he's running down the first base and there's a bad throw. If he's running to second base, a bad throw.
Good breaking ball, and Sonny's called out on strike. Second strikeout for Chase Anderson.
Sonny didn't like it. Back-to-back curveballs. Kind of shook his head after he got the knee buckler. He thought maybe it was low. Sonny, a good athlete, also takes a lot of pride in his hitting. Just keep pitching. Don't lose your day job.
So here's Burns, a big hit in this game, a 2-out RBI single. And he slaps one towards short. Ahmed has it quickly to first. Side retired. So Semien's double is stranded. We're going to the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Lamb, Owings, and Anderson. 2-0. A's lead.
of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's pitching probables, brought to you by Chevron. Felix Doubront and Jhoulys Chacin, the pitching matchup. Check out the time. 4:30 is when A's pregame live is going to come your way, and then the ball game is at first pitch scheduled for 5:10. So a little bit of an interesting game time for Saturday late afternoon, early evening. We'll be here. So Felix Doubront, after getting hit in the foot, is glad to have him ready to go tomorrow.
Yeah, Aaron Brooks was a possibility, but with the September, at least the roster is able to be increased to 40-man roster on Tuesday the 1st. Then I would assume that Aaron Brooks, who was a possibility to fill in, maybe that move will not be made until Tuesday when the rosters are increased. Good to hear that Felix Doubront, who joined the Athletics and making the start. Well, what a game it turned out to be a good one for the Athletics against the Mariners, where bullpen did a great job following just 2 innings by Doubront.
So Lamb to lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's with a 2-0 lead. Lamb, Owings, and then the pitcher Anderson. First pitch right up the middle, over the bag. Semien spins, throws, and not in time as Vogt doing his job backing things up. So it's a base hit for Lamb. I don't know if Sonny got a piece of that.
I don't think he did. I think he fortunately pulled his hand back, and I think over the mound, at least it did not look like he did. And tried his glove and fortunately got his hand out of the way. You never want to see a pitcher use his bare hand, and you're right. Stephen Vogt, look where the ball was headed. There is just an opening going down the stairs with the screen in front of the dugout. Same on both sides. Vogt hustling, and that's what catchers do all the time with a ground ball, especially nobody on base.
Here's Owings. So first time a leadoff man aboard. It's only the 2nd hit for the Diamondbacks. Owings struck out, 1 of 2 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. That was in the 2nd inning. The Diamondbacks are 1st in the National League in runs scored. They're tied for 8th in home runs, but 2nd in stolen bases. So Chip has some speed, and he will use it. They've scored 572 runs this year. A's have scored 524.
And that's why the A's are throwing over it when they get the scouting reports and they see that the club is going to be running, and they know anytime. Close play. Lamb leaning a little bit. Quick throw. Not so much a quick tag by Mark Cannon. And there's your glove on the left hand, a right-handed first baseman versus a lefty. And Mike Davis, we're told, had successful surgery today. Speaking of left-handed first baseman.
Hit hard. Nice play, Laurie. He's going to take it himself. Fires to first, and he throws it away, and it goes up into the seats. And that will allow Owings to go to second base. So you saw Laurie right there. He said, I should have flipped it.
Yep.
And he took it himself. But you could read his lips. He said to Marcus, I should have flipped it.
Well, and again, we're talking about somebody who does not have a lot of experience at second, and especially falling down, and then with the runner coming in, and that is Lamb, the runner, and try to see if he was standing up, because it was a play in which it was, well, bottom line, should have just flipped it.
Yeah.
Especially going down to his knees, flip it to Semien with him coming across, better angle to throw to first base.
So 1 out, runner at second, and here's Chase Anderson. Anderson takes down and in. And Laurie's played a fair amount of second base, but still, you know, watch right here, read his lips. So he knows it. But it's still, I mean,
well, it's
you're on the other side of the diamond. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a significant shift from third to second. He's going to get action as he scoops this one up. So that's out number 2 with Owings going to third. I think the second base position, and again, another reason why it's different than playing short or third, I think you can relax a little bit at second base. Don't rush.
Yeah. Well, especially
you just don't need to rush there.
yeah, especially if you have a strong arm as he does playing third base, which you have to play on the left side of the infield, with Sogard playing second and then moving to short and back and forth.
In the dirt, and Vogt saved a run, and he may have used his mask to block it.
You don't see this many out in front of home plate. Spiked it, and he went down to take it off his chest, got it off his mask, and whatever it takes to save the run, and that's what he did. And best thing to see the hitter have to put up his hand, left hand, to stay on the run at third. Don't come. So that's a big save. Now you have to get the big out.
Ahmed grounded to short in the third inning. So the A's got a couple of big 2-out hits. Diamondbacks looking for one of their own here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Outside with a fastball, 2-0. Billy Burns shifted well into right center field for Ahmed. Ahmed got off to a pretty good start offensively, but he's really been struggling. His average at 216 coming into today. Young player, good defensively.
But hitting ninth, and you got the pitcher who grounded out, and now with 2 outs, the 9th place hitter, who normally would be the pitcher, is hitting.
And that one's hit toward left center. Burns on the move. Smolinski on the move, and Burns caught it. So a little scary moment out there, but it's caught by Burns, and that's all that matters. So we're through 5 from Chase Field, and the A's hanging on to a 2-0 lead.
Live streaming sports service is celebrating 13 years. Watch Not Close Guys every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night. Every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Can you name those four? That's really probably our best trivia question. Luis Gonzalez, Matt Williams, Mark Grace, and then the guy with the long hair, big Randy Johnson. There they go. Right through the stands. Randy's a Hall of Famer, so he'd prefer to not hang out with the other guys because he's milking it a little bit.
His heads just look funny. I mean, it's very big heads, but the way they protrude over the body. I mean, it's. Yeah, see,
well, the neck is actually where the person's costume, his head is. He's still smarting from last night. Oh!
Get the second head out.
Well, that was yesterday.
Still smiling, though.
I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm a Hall of Famer. Canna lays off the breaking ball. 1-2. Canna, Reddick, and Valencia.
Well, the legends, those legends were involved in the 0-1 World Championship.
Yes,
the only one for the Diamondbacks. And he thought that would not happen. Luis Gonzalez with the biggest hit. Randy Johnson, of course, he and Kurt Schilling combined to start out of the bullpen. And Bob Brenly, booth next to us, was the manager of the Diamondbacks in the World Championship.
This one's popped up right below us. And Bob Brenly, he had Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling, and he said, we're all going to climb on your backs, and it worked. How could you not use those guys?
Absolutely. Well, co-MVPs of the World Series, right?
Yep, I believe they were, yeah. Canna fouls it. Diamondbacks came into existence in 1998 as an expansion team with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And they had their first-year struggles. They were not very good. But then they signed a bunch of players. And they won the division in their second year of existence in 1999. 1-2 changeup, and Canna strikes out.
Well, if you think of the trade, Luis Gonzalez for Kareem Garcia, the Tigers.
That was the start of it.
There's a change-up with a 2-strike change-up after fouling off 3 fastballs. Started 0-2. Canna, though, no contact.
There's the playoff appearances. 5 times they've been to the postseason. So they won the division in their second year. They won it all in their 4th year. So there's teams out there going, really?
Yeah.
Your 4th year, you win it?
It's kind of like the Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins.
97.
Yeah.
When,
they came in 93, right? Yeah.
And the teams that came in with those that you mentioned, with the Devil Rays, now just the Rays, they dropped the Devil and they've done better. And then, of course, the Colorado Rockies, and they've come close, but that only counts in horseshoes.
The Rockies and the Marlins came in together.
The 07, when the Rockies put on that unbelievable finish to the season, sweeping everybody until they had so much time off between the league championship and the World Series.
Right. They won too much.
Yep.
So Reddick has a 4-pitch walk.
Well, an unbelievable World Series, and this was Luis Gonzalez against the New York Yankees, and infield drawn in, and champs. That same guy's broadcasting next door.
That's right. Yeah.
Melvin was there. You're right.
It's funny that, I mean, that was the hit that won the World Series. That was the biggest hit of all. But there was a couple big hits in that 9th inning. Remember, Tony Womack had a huge hit off Mariano Rivera, and it all came down to Gonzalez finally winning it in the bottom of the 9th.
But don't you think the Yankees thought they were going to win, considering what happened in New York against the closer?
Yeah. It was a great World Series.
I mean, when Brocious hit 1 home run in late. And
Jeter won a game, didn't he?
Well, also the lefty.
Jeter tied it, maybe?
Martinez. Yeah.
Tino Martinez won a game.
Yeah.
Late into the night.
Mark Gracie, big hit in that one.
Yep, it was quite a series.
Brocious, as you mentioned, and that. But the thing is, I know when Luis Gonzalez got the game-winning hit, and kind of the story was as much as the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and of course, Diamondbacks beating the Yankees, said that Luis Gonzalez never had to buy a drink or dinner ever in history going back to Boston. And I was told tonight that when the Diamondbacks went in to play in Boston, they got standing ovation from the entire Red Sox nation for beating the Yankees in the World Series. You talk about a rivalry. But that was, of course, the tragedy on 9/11, that 0-1, and that's why I thought it was going to be the Yankees, and A's went in there to play in the postseason, and it was an unbelievable sight. And Jeter play, so it was just thought it was going to be the Yankees. So congratulations to the Diamondbacks. They're trying to get back there. Just like the Angels the next year in 02 won the World Series, and they haven't been back since.
Base hit left field. Valencia got a pitch up and out over the plate. He lines a single to left. 2 on and 1 out for the A's here in the 6th.
Well, like the split finger fastball, the splitter, or the split finger and the knuckleball, and then the changeup if it's left up, as Valencia's seen a few of those. So the splitter from Iwakuma, the home run, the 2-run home run in Seattle. But the knuckleball with R.A. Dickey in Toronto, and now this changeup that was left up by Anderson.
So Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, comes out. Randall Delgado is warming up out in the bullpen.
The Diamondbacks swept the Reds and then lost 4 straight to the Cardinals.
Yep.
They thought they were going to start making the move, and it just has not worked out. The Cardinals just in town for a 4-game series, and former Athletic Brandon Moss hit a 2-run home run last night to help defeat the Diamondbacks. As Chip Hill said, we had the scouting report. He said too many changeups. Moss finally hit one, and that was the difference in the game.
Well, the problem for the Diamondbacks this year, Ray, is they have fought and fought and fought to get to 500.
Yeah.
They have only got to 500. They've only gone over 500 twice, and one of them was Sunday.
Yeah.
They won on Sunday to go to 62 and 61. And then lost 4 straight to the Cardinals. It has been just a chore for them. They get close, and then they fall back under 500.
And as we've talked with the 3 teams, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubs playing so well in the Central Division, those records indicate that it might be a division plus a couple of wild cards from the Central Division. There's some disappointed teams in the East and the West of the National League.
So 1-1 to Stephen Vogt. Vogt with an RBI opportunity. There's your out-of-town scoreboards high above the left field foul pole, and they have that same setup down the right field line. Not a bad idea. Vogt with a shot, but fouled down the right field line. Glory to follow here in the 6th inning. He's hanging on to a 2-0 lead against Chase Anderson.
That's a sign for a fastball up.
And it was up. 2-2 the count.
Both put up one finger on his left hand.
I think it's
It should be 2-2. He put up one finger. I got 2-2.
The home plate umpire, if they're looking right up at it, if they think it's wrong, they'll signal.
But he put up a one finger and was waving one finger. But he said it's 1-2. That's 2-2. I think our crew's right. That's Jim Wolf is saying 1-2, and I've got it down 2-2 with the foul ball.
And there's a shot toward right field, and Ciarte grabs it. And Vogt hit it right on a line. So 2 away here in the 6th inning.
Second baseman, Brett Lowry.
So it's up to Lowry. Lowry, a ground out and a strikeout so far. Swings at that high fastball. 92 miles an hour, but up around the letters.
I mean, he does elevate and then comes down with a changeup sinking down. Let's see if he goes back to that, to the curveball. And I don't know if that was an intentional elevation of the fastball to change the eyesight a little bit. Let's see what the next pitch is. And
comes inside and it's bounced foul. So now Lowry behind in the count, 0-2. This will be pitch number 100 for Anderson. 107 is the most he has thrown this year. Fastball high.
it is usually an indication of somebody trying to throw a little bit extra with the pitch count being what it is. Let's not forget that Billy Burns started this game with a 12-pitch at bat. So man might be able to pitch another inning had it not been for that long at bat.
One-two, here it is. It's reached for, driven toward right center. Pollock gets back there and he makes the catch. Side retired. So the A's strand a pair. Bottom of the sixth coming up. It'll be the top of the order for the Diamondbacks.
Down the line, and then Mark Cannon with a count of 3-1. Burns takes off, and a bullet down the left field line that would score Billy Burns easily to make it a 2-0 game. And then Sonny Gray Sonny Gray said, last time I left the game with a 1-run lead, did not pick up the win. Tonight, Doug gets Scully, Paul Goldschmidt, but a lot of ground ball outs for Sonny Gray once again tonight. He's already in double figures through 5 innings. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. So Sonny, who had 14 fly ball outs against the Astros 3 starts ago, then 17 ground ball outs in his last start against the Rays. Well, twice this year has he been in double figures in fly ball outs, yet a number of times, 7 times double figures with ground ball outs. So he is predominantly a ground ball pitcher and a strikeout pitcher.
2-0 pitch outside to Inciarte, and now it's 1-0. Excuse me, 1-0. Pollock to follow, and then Goldschmidt. So it is the top of the order. 63 pitches for Sonny Gray, so he's done a pretty good job with the pitch count so far. Inciarte, a couple of ground outs, one to the pitcher and one to first. Taken all the way, 3-0. Indians beat the Angels tonight in Cleveland 3-1. A 3-run 7th inning for Cleveland. The Angels continue to struggle. There's a strike, 3-1 the count. Rangers beat the Orioles 4-1. Well, Hamels got the win. He pitched well. Gausman took the loss. That's an important game, an important series in that wild card race. 3-1 pitch is low, and the leadoff man is aboard.
Almost like Inciarte was up there to walk, or at least to make sure he got a strike. Out of the 5 pitches he saw, only one was a strike.
So here's Pollock. Pollock has grounded out twice to Valencia. And this is a big guy to get with Goldschmidt standing in the on-deck circle.
Well, being a ground ball pitcher, this is exactly what he's hoping for, is a ground ball. Good job Stephen Vogt has done. That's 2 impossible blocks. Sonny Gray, a lot of wild pitches, and this is one of the reasons that Stephen Vogt tonight has saved him too. And as much as Stephen Vogt has been beaten up throughout the season with foul balls, how about a ball bouncing? You see the mark in front of the plate about 2 feet in front.
Like the other one, hit him in the mask. That was about 4 feet in front. Interesting, Ray. Pollock has really good speed, but he has grounded into 18 double plays, which is hard to figure out. Generally hits the ball pretty hard.
That would result in a double play if he could do the same thing. I'd like to see how slow Trevor Plouffe is, because he's got more than Billy Butler.
Yeah. A lot of hard hit ground balls to short. That's probably what it amounts to.
That's exactly right. Guys like Burns and Ichiro, when he played so well with the Mariners, hard to double up because of their speed. Infield really playing a double play depth now, almost kind of halfway. Talk about the double play depth for Miller infielders, but also shows that whenever they have to play for the possibility of a double play, how much it opens up other holes. Look where Simeon and Glory are playing. It's about halfway up on the ground, on the dirt part.
Takes away quite a bit of range.
Takes a lot of range away. We saw earlier when Glory went shallow right field, they ended up play at that area because of Castillo. Robbed him of a base hit.
So 2-2 to Pollock. Again, Goldschmidt in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Sonny Gray. his third of the night.
Well, the hard slider and a good one.
So one away, and here's Goldschmidt. And here's our cold hard facts. They're brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Home run leaders in Diamondbacks history. Some good names on there. Luis Gonzalez, Steve Finley, Chris Young, Mark Reynolds. Chris Young, before he came to the A's, had some pretty good years with the Diamondbacks. And that one pops away from Vogt. He had a full glove on it, so it's probably going to be a pass ball.
And you know, I think Jim Wolf put up a hand and indicating maybe a ball. This pitch is right down the middle. That's a good strike. And Jim Wolf earlier called one and put up his right hand, which would indicate a strike, but they're putting the ball up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you know what? He did call it a strike.
Yeah.
He's raising his hand now to let him know.
Yeah, that is a strike. I mean, that ball was down the middle, and just that Stephen Vogt missed it. This time, Jim Wolf is correct.
In the dirt, and a count 1-1. Goldschmidt has grounded to second, and he has struck out. Leading the National League in RBIs with 94. Swing and a miss. Good tight breaking ball from Sonny Gray, or maybe even like just looked like a cut fastball or something.
You know, the one thing, and this is, I think it is a slider, Captain, because
right,
see the spin coming out of his hand, but that pitch is a result of Mike Trout, as Sonny said, hitting the home run last year with a good curveball. Trout went down and got a very good curveball from Sonny Gray, but the fact that it was down and that was a swing. Now it's more of a side to side like that, and it's not your true slider that does slide away, but it has a sharper bite, and he can throw it to the outside part of the plate and either stay on the plate or just off to the outside.
David Peralta is the on-deck hitter, left-handed hitter. Laurie trying to keep Inciarte somewhat close at second base. Andy Green, the third base coach for Arizona, keeping an eye on his base runner. 1-2 pitch, and he missed it. Vogt's going to have to hustle after it, and everybody's going to be safe. So it's a swing and a miss, but the Diamondbacks catch a break, and now it's first and third, and only one out.
Again, another hard slider, and Stephen Vogt. You know what happened? I mean, Goldschmidt knows nobody else. Watch his glove. He starts to turn it, and then he started with the palm up and then turned it over to go down with the slider, and it got caught in between, and the ball hit his heel of his glove.
So it's a strikeout for Sonny Gray, but the out is not recorded. So Bob Melvin wants to make sure everything's okay. First and third now.
Again, watch the catcher's mitt. Stephen Vogt tries to, or starts with a palm up and then decides to go down, and look where it hit him. Hit him on the side of the glove, and it's kind of in between. Starts to go up and then down. And he's kind of caught in between of how to catch the ball, and when he did go after it, it missed the pocket. You don't see that twice in the same inning. You're lucky to see it twice in a month.
And that one's driven to right center. That's trouble. It's going to get down for a hit. One run scores. Goldschmidt to third and Peralta to second, and the Diamondbacks are on the board, and they're looking for more.
Well, this is looking for a ground ball. He got a hanger, though. And stayed up. Instead of down to where he could get a ground ball. And Billy Burns did a great job cutting it off because remember, Goldschmidt can run. And into right center. Goldschmidt had to hold at third.
So Peralta gets his 68th RBI. And here's Wellington Castillo, second and third, one out. Swing and a miss. So a couple of mistakes by the A's here in the 6th inning. 29 extra base hits allowed, but 23 with the bases empty. So that's a pretty good number for Sonny Gray. (0-1) to Castillo, who is 0 for 2. And this is the kind of ballpark, Ray, with this lineup, you really can't give them extra outs.
Yeah. Unbelievably, Stephen Vogt, that's twice with runner at third that he has taken a pretty hard breaking ball and blocked it. But yet 2 to allow Goldschmidt to reach, which should have been the second out.
Yep.
And really another one to reach second, which is not a ground out, but it did put a run in score position.
Tapped foul. Now, one thing with Wellington Castillo, he's got good power. He also strikes out a fair amount, so it is a strikeout opportunity here for Sonny Gray.
And the A's are really giving up the run, except the ground ball to third and to first, and of course to the pitcher. Goldschmidt, let's see if he goes on contact.
A's bullpen down the right field line into the right field corner is where it's at. Curve, man. Could have been called a strike.
It was a strike. That was a strike. That's the same one that Vogt missed. Yeah, Stephen having a few words with Jim Wolf, but that is too close to take, and definitely a pitch you could have called him out on.
Watch the front knee.
Yeah, no, it
right
definitely
at the bottom of the front knee.
Not where Stephen caught it, but we're across the plate. I see. Vogt must have said something because Castillo said it also.
Popped up. Reddick toward the seats, near the seats, and he reaches in and he's got it. Goldschmidt's coming home. The throw is cut off and we're tied. So Reddick grabbed it right in front of the bleachers, and Goldschmidt, who has very good speed, took a chance, but he beat it as the throw was cut off, so it's a 2-2 game.
Well, the surprising thing, Vogt, I mean, you want outs, and Reddick going after again. He has a very strong, accurate arm. Why did he cut it? Because it looked like Canna, with the throw coming to him, I mean, runner's going to go to third anyway on the throw to the plate. Let it go. Because it looked like it was on line. And it looked like also Reddick was upset that it didn't go through, and I'm a little surprised it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your point is the best one. If you don't cut it off and the runner's safe, there's no harm done.
Right.
Because the runner's going to go second to third.
Yeah, he was already tagged to go to third.
So Castillo gets his 42nd RBI, and the Diamondbacks have scored twice. So we're tied 2-2 as Jake Lamb hits. So now you got to make sure you get this guy with Peralta at third. Lamb is 2 for 2. There's a strike.
So the thing you have to look at with a throw by Reddick. Josh could have let it go. Now this is maybe a better shot to see where it is. And
you see where Canna is, so the ball may have been offline a little bit. That was a, could see a little bit of the angle there. So 3-1 to Lamb. And now 3-2. So Sonny, really the first inning that he's had to work hard.
Came into the inning with 61 pitches, now at 87. So that in itself confirms what you just said.
Yeah, he was okay with the pitch count coming into this inning, but not anymore. 3-2 pitch is bounced foul. Dave McKay, first base coach.
So with the Cubs, after the Cardinals, after the A's, and Tony La Russa a long time. Matter of fact, left for Tony. Yep. Tony went to St. Louis, went with him. Ends up back here where Tony is now.
Swing and a miss. The strikeout of Jake Lamb, but a couple runs for the Diamondbacks. So we go to the 7th inning. It's now the A's 2 and the Diamondbacks 2. Their 17th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Nelson Staffing, Comerica Bank, and State Roofing Systems of San Leandro. Prior to the game, 10,000 fans will receive a breast cancer awareness scarf, courtesy of Zevia. To join the fight, purchase your special tickets now at athletics.com/survivor. So now it's a 2-2 game. Diamondbacks with a 2 spot in the bottom of the 6th. And they go to their bullpen. It's Randall Delgado. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So there's the numbers for Delgado. So he faces Smolinski, Simeon, and then Sonny Gray. High fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Now, since there were 2 pass balls in the inning, the 2 runs given up by Sonny Gray were unearned. Line for Chase Anderson, 6 innings. He threw 101 pitches, 12 ground ball outs, and he definitely did a good job keeping the ball on the ground.
So Delgado takes over.
got a good arm with a good fastball in the mid-90s, but one of the rare relievers that comes in and throws out of the windup.
Shallow right field. Inciarte hustles in. He's got it. And Smolinski is out. He's 0 for 3. One away here in the 7th. And that'll bring up Simeon. Nobody in the on-deck circle yet, so we'll see what happens. Rodriguez has been warming up. Simeon takes a slider down and away.
And this is, of course, a big advantage. If the A's do get a base runner, could see a pinch hitter.
In for a strike. Delgado was it originally with the Atlanta Braves, but he came over in the Justin Upton trade. It was in January of 2013. So his 3rd year with the Diamondbacks. Sonny Gray has come out now into the on-deck circle. Simeon's got a couple of doubles tonight.
Love to get another one here. Sonny Gray might head back to the dugout for a pinch hitter. Pitch count should be able to send him back out. Sonny Gray.
That one's poked down the right field line into the seats. So the count 2-2. Delgado kicks and the 2-2 pitch. Another slider and it's rolled foul.
Slider's kind of a hanger. He's not really throwing it sharply away from the right end. Kind of wraps it a little bit, hangs the slider. We'll try it again.
Yeah, he likes throwing it.
Yeah.
And there it is. And that one hung a little bit. It hit well to right center, but Pollock was shaded that way and he makes the catch. So 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, and Sonny Gray will hit. So Sonny steps in for the 3rd time. Ground out and a strikeout. First pitch, and that's a good swing by Sonny Gray. Chokes up just a smidge. And now it's 0-2, 95 miles an hour. A's with 5 hits in the game. Diamondbacks with 3, and that one is right on the outside corner. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Randall Delgado. And we have reached the 7th inning stretch from Chase Field in Phoenix. It's a 2-2 game.
2016 priority seating and choose your exact seating location for next season. A's offers a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, including half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and much more. For more information, call 510-648-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016. And we talked about this club. Sonny Gray would be the ace of the staff going into 2016. Still a young pitcher and might have some hardware before spring training next year, depending on what happens to the voters for the Cy Young Award. It's 2-2, but mentioned the A's 2 with 2 outs in the third inning. 2 by the Diamondbacks last inning. Got only 1 hit, and they were unearned as 2 pass balls in the inning. So if you look at the inning, Kite, the A's could have gotten out really without. I guess the double by Peralta could have scored 1, but definitely the sac fly, which should have been the 3rd out.
Yep.
But now it's 2-2. Sonny Gray left, leading 4-3 in his last start. Here you have to shut him down and try to get his club to score in the 8th inning.
So Chris Owings will lead things off and then get a pinch hitter as the pitcher spot is second. And then Nick Ahmed. First pitch swinging is Owings, and he fouls it off the end of his bat. That's Aaron Hill. So Hill's going to hit for Delgado. Action out in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Curve, high strike call, and it's an 0-2 count. That was pitch number 90 for Sonny Gray. And that one is fair. Down the left field line, headed for the corner. And it rattles around down there, and Owings has a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 7th. And now the ball rolling around, and it's finally picked up by Valencia near the third base coach's box.
Actually hit the third base umpire.
Yep.
Barry Cedarstrom. Hanging breaking ball, and you can see it hang right there for Owings, who hammered it past the third baseman Valencia. As the throw came back in, Ars Smolinski, after it kind of stuck in the corner, Smolinski the throw, and then watch Gary Cedarstrom out of the way. Sonny Gray pushing him out of the way.
He was in a bad spot. Yeah, what if somebody kicks it or something?
That's right. Kicks in the dugout. You let him go.
So Kurt Young coming out. 92 pitches for Sonny Gray. Aaron Hill is the pinch hitter. So the Diamondbacks have the go-ahead runner on second with nobody out. Pat Venditti now throwing for the A's. So a key point in the game right now. So Aaron Hill steps in. 227 for Hill, 5 homers, 33 RBIs, veteran middle infielder. And the first pitch is a strike. So Chip Hale goes to his bench for the first time.
Former Blue Jay Aaron Hill and came over to the Diamondbacks. He's had some good seasons for the D-backs.
Just got a piece of that one. And he had some good seasons in Toronto. He got hurt at the Coliseum a while back. He got a concussion. And kept him out for quite a while.
Shallow center field.
33 years old.
I think he had 2 cycles in the same season.
I think you're right. Came over in 2011. 0-2 pitch, here it is. And did he go? Nope. A very close play.
Well, he started on the hard slider, and Lance Barksdale said no, and he's correct on that call.
Nick Ahmed, right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. 1-2 pitch is driven toward right center. That's trouble, and that's going to get down. Into the gap in right center. Owings will score easily, and Aaron Hill, the pinch hitter, has an RBI double to give the Diamondbacks the lead.
Another hanging breaking ball. He checked his swing on a breaking ball outside. And then another one comes in and stays in and stayed inside the ball, and really, even with 2 strikes, tried to advance the runner and did a good job hitting into the gap in right center. The ball just kept carrying, showing his power. And that's too bad, because it's like the breaking ball has stopped breaking sharply that we saw earlier in the game, especially the 2-strike pitch.
So that'll bring up Ahmed. And he shows bunt, and he gets it down nicely. Valencia throws, and they just skid Ahmed. So sacrifice sends Hill to third.
Well, an excellent bunt by Ahmed, and again a pretty good pitch to bunt. Left up. Sonny Gray's night's going to be finished as Bob Melton cornered the bullpen. An excellent sacrifice. This not an opportunity for the young man to hit the ball to the right side.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Sonny Gray, 6 1/3 tonight here in Phoenix.
Brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, home of the most to live sports. And by Black Bear Diner, feed your inner bear.
So the Diamondbacks have taken the lead here in the 7th. And the runner at third, 1 out. A's bring the infield in as Pat Venditti comes in. So he will throw left-handed to Ender Inciarte, the left-handed hitter.
Strikeout, pop-up, ground ball. The A's are looking for that from the switch pitcher.
So 1-0 to Inciarte, who walked and scored in the 6th inning. He's also grounded out twice. Slider spins inside, and it's 2-0. A.J. Pollock, right-handed hitter, will be next. Pop-up foul, and that slider was a little more hittable. Inciarte fouled it back. Well, there's the numbers for Sonny Gray. 3 runs, but only 1 earned. So that always hurts a little bit. 96 pitches. Good pitch there, 2-2. So Sonny Gray will not get his 13th win of the year tonight. And that one at the knee, strike 3 call. And that one was right there. Don't really know what you could argue about.
But once Stephen Vogt moved inside, you had a pretty good idea he's going to be a fastball, because Venditti likes to throw the slider away. Look where Vogt is set up, and he just snuck a fastball in, and I'm sure Inciarte was thinking he's going to throw him another slider. I'm going to stay back, and fooled it with a fastball. And when you fool a hitter like that with 2 strikes, you got to like it. His ass was down, and really, young man, it was too close to take, even if it was down.
There's a shot just foul. Pollock reached for it and drilled it right over the head of Aaron Hill.
Pat Two Thumbs Venditti.
old Two Thumbs Venditti. And that's a base hit to right field. Hill comes in to score, and it's 4-2. So Pollock just goes the other way. Shoots one into right field.
He hung a slider. Then he pulled foul to the left side. And then try to stick a fastball by him. Well, he's full of fastball, and well, he left it up. And a good pitch for Pollock to do that. That Laurie, great effort going after it, but just could not stop it. Trying to catch it, get up so quickly, could not do it.
So here's Goldschmidt. 2 outs in the inning. So the Diamondbacks get a big 2-out hit. And Pollock is a major base stealer. He's got 33 on the year. Although you may have to.
He's in score position already.
Yeah, he is. And you're going to walk Goldschmidt. So the updated ERA for Sonny Gray, 2.13. He came in at 2.10. So Vogt's going to talk to Venditti real quick. 1-1 the count to Goldschmidt. The Goldschmidt at bat in that 6th inning when he struck out but reached on the pass ball. That was a huge play.
Very big.
Slider away. So on that play, not only did the A's not get the out, but then there was a base runner.
Yeah.
So
it turned out to be the tying run with the base runner.
And that one was hittable for Goldschmidt, and he fouls it. I would not throw that one there again.
No.
He'll let you miss one time. He may not let you miss twice.
And even as a power hitter, you see his bat choked up about an inch. I don't see big power hitters. They're usually one finger, the little finger wrapped around the knob of the bat.
He's up a little bit.
Just enough, and actually Just like Jason Giambi, Jason always looked to see where his hand was, his lower hand. Just slightly choking up.
Maybe Jason choked up just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Bat speed is what you're looking for. And so he hit that many home runs, you can wait, especially as many times as he has walked.
Two pitches well off the plate. Full count. Pollock will take off. Canna right behind him. And the pitch to Goldschmidt is hit deep to center field, and that is way out of here. So Goldschmidt, the 2-run shot, it was impressive, and it's 6-2.
Well, this is what you do to a slider. Bell time, and Denny knew it. He figured that kind of power, you throw him that kind of slider, and that's going to be the result. Way up high on the center field wall. Guys in the dugout, the Diamondbacks, they've seen that a few times.
Well, I'm curious to see where that ball hit.
Yeah, it came back in the field, but it hit maybe above our cameras in center field. Let's watch it straight away. Up, up, up.
It hit the bottom part of the scoreboard.
Yeah. So that's not a cheapie.
That was impressive. So it's a 4-run 7th inning for the Diamondbacks. We go to the 8th. Arizona now leads 6-2. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's over on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll have highlights from this A's Diamondbacks game. We'll have a full report from Raiders practice, and we'll have a full report from the 49ers, who are in Denver. Ed Fareed, Dave Feldman will host. So we'll look forward to that. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's a lefty out of the bullpen. And it's Andrew Chafin. Chafin 5-0, 2.33 ERA. Busy guy. This is his 54th appearance. Chafin, 25 years old. His first full year in the big leagues for Arizona. Burns takes a strike. So perfect inning for Randall Delgado. He took care of the 7th. Now Chafin here in the 8th. And jumps ahead of Burns 0-2. Burns 1 for 3. Had the 2-out RBI single in the 3rd that gave the A's a 1-0 lead. Also a couple of ground outs for Burns, and on 3 pitches he swings and misses, and that's out number 1.
A high fastball running away from Billy Burns, and kind of a sinker running away. How about, I know it'd take a lot of work to go back. Just wonder how many times the A's have had a lead in the first 5 or 6 innings. And then,
yeah, that's a good question.
All of a sudden, you look up and the record is what it is now, 73. But it just seems like that early part of the game, it's good. But then at the end, you see the other team shaking hands.
Well, this is game number 129 for the Athletics. So a good question. How many times in those 129 have the A's had a lead after, well, let's say even 5 innings?
Yeah. Bob Melvin probably knows. Somebody knows. It just seemed that tonight's a perfect example. This A's cruising along. In 5 innings, Sonny Gray gave up 2 hits.
A little bit inside to Canna. Canna ground out, RBI double, and a strikeout. 1 for 3. Big bouncer toward Ahmed. Fires across. So 2 away. Ahmed showing off a strong arm.
John Canna running hard as he normally does. And this is scouting reports. It doesn't matter interleague play or not. They know exactly about the reports.
7 consecutive A's hitters have been retired. Reddick, a ground out, a pop out, and a walk. A little bit outside. Both the Yankees and the Rangers won tonight. Those are the 2 wild card teams. Blue Jays also won, so the Blue Jays hold on to their 1.5 lead over the Yankees in the East. The Twins are now closest to that second wild card. They're just a half game behind the Rangers. Angels lose a game, so they're a 1.5 games back of the Rangers, the second wild card team. Broke at bat, splinters all over the place, and a ground out, side retired. So, another 3 up, 3 down inning. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Diamondbacks 6 and the A's 2. This game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-5-1 for the A's, 6-7-0 for the Diamondbacks. A's had a 2-0 lead through 5, but then the Diamondbacks with 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. Sonny Gray, a 6 and a third. Chase Anderson was good for 6, and Paul Goldschmidt with a long home run. 466 feet is what they're telling us.
466.
And I think that may be a little shy.
Well, you're right about splinters off the end of the bat. The bat heading back up to Chafin, and he ducked out of the way, but ready? That's Maple. That's a good one.
So Edward Mujica comes in for the Athletics. So Mujica will face Castillo, Lamb, and Owens. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So the numbers for Mujica: 3 and 4 with a 4.89 ERA. Castillo's hitless tonight. So the Diamondbacks with 7 hits. 4 of those hits came in the 7th inning.
Yeah. And unfortunate for the A's, a couple of big ones with a couple of outs, 2 outs. So 1-run difference versus 3, or make it 4 now with the 6-2 lead. 3 of the runs coming after 2 outs.
And it's just a situation where when the other team has a hitter like Goldschmidt, you just have to be super careful with him. And and you could say, well, why didn't you pitch around him? But there are still times when you got to go after the guy.
Well, he didn't.
2 outs, runner at first.
Didn't mean to throw the slider down the middle of the plate.
That's true. Castillo rips one down the left field line. Valencia dove for it, couldn't get it. And Castillo with the double, and that's 8 hits now for the Diamondbacks.
Well, here's a case of falling behind. There's a fastball belt high and coming inside to Castillo.
So that's the 4th double of the night for Arizona. Now Jake Lamb will hit, so another good scoring opportunity for Arizona. Lamb may be thinking about trying to pull the baseball. Swings over that splitter, 0-1. Lamb 2 singles and a strikeout. And he bounces one toward Canna. Canna knocks it down, picks it up, throws to Mujica, and then Mujica fires back to third. So Lamb is retired, but Castilla gets to third. So Lamb does his job, 1 away.
That's when a left-hander has to open up just a little bit extra, make sure he does the job. Lefty, it's a little bit easier for lefty than a righty. Canna, good play and nice feed to Mujica. That's important. Had to throw overhand and be able to lead Mujica, not throw the ball behind him, which is easy to do at times.
So infield comes in, and here's Owings. First pitch to Owings is hit toward Valencia. Stays down on it. Flips it across, and that's a big second out.
Speaking of big, guess who's coming up?
Yosmani Tomas.
That's big.
So here is a young man from Cuba, A lot of fanfare in the offseason. Really, spring training, there was a lot of fanfare, Ray. I mean, we were both down here, and he signed that big contract with the Diamondbacks. He showed flashes of greatness here, but there's still a little concern about a position.
Yeah. And in the National League, that's a concern.
Got to have a position.
You don't, unless you're playing in American League Park, which interleague play, you don't do it that much anyway. Tony Russo was coming about him, and they talked about his home runs. So he was trying to hit home runs. When you try, that's usually at a time it's not going to happen. And so Tony encouraged him to make solid contact, then good things will happen. Ariel Prieto, who is the interpreter for this young man, told him, and says, "You will never learn English, because I don't want to lose my job." And Tony and Chip were saying, "Well, he knows English." He said, "No, he doesn't. Not enough.
He needs me."
Yeah. Prieto was
got a 6-year contract. He's going to need me for all 6 years.
You think you're going to start learning? No way.
Well, he played some third base early and then right field.
Yeah.
Can play some left field, but for the Diamondbacks, they're running Peralta, Pollock, and Inciarte out there. That's a very good defensive outfield.
They got a pretty good first baseman, so he can't learn to play first.
Exactly. And Lamb is good at third. So from a defensive standpoint, and the Diamondbacks are very good defensively, putting Tomas in any of those spots, it's really a downgrade. And that's a tough spot for Chip Hale as well. Because remember, Chip was, he was asked about Tomas every day in spring training. Yeah. Can he play third?
Sure.
Can he play third? Is he getting better?
Mario Prieto just wondering, is it going to be a press conference?
Am I going to have to work tonight?
The splitter.
Yep, and he got him. Vogt finds it. Pros to first, side retired. So the runner stranded at third. Last shot for the A's is coming up. Top of the ninth. Diamondbacks 6, A's 2. Tonight's Honda Player of the Game, Paul Goldschmidt. We talked about him in the open of our show. An MVP candidate, and he hit a 466-foot home run, and it was impressive.
Well, they had Pat Venditti shaking his head.
So Goldschmidt now with 26 home runs and 96 RBIs on the season. 6-2 Diamondbacks lead. It's the ninth inning.
Okay, the national newspaper comes out with salaries at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I checked on Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
A whopping $3 million. Now, while that's a great salary in today's world with his production, That's a steal.
Well, that's probably the best bargain in baseball.
Yeah.
Valencia with a leadoff hit against David Hernandez, the new pitcher for Arizona.
Not wasting any time. Got a fastball and right back up the middle. Figure Hernandez going to get ahead with a first pitch fastball. Did not work out.
Hernandez missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. So he's still battling his way back. There was a time he was one of the best setup men in the National League. Came from Baltimore. But Tommy John got him and still trying to work his way back from that. Now the Diamondbacks closer is Brad Ziegler.
Yep.
And he's done a good job. First pitch to Vogt is right in there for a strike, 94 miles an hour. Twins shut out the Astros tonight 3-0. Rangers beat the Orioles 4-1. Indians beat the Angels 3-1. Foul straight back. Toronto beat Detroit 5-3. Blue Jays get their 72nd win. There's the closer, Brad Ziegler. Mariners shut out the White Sox 2-0 in Chicago. Vogt got a hanger and he fouled it back. Stephen Vogt tonight has grounded out twice and then lined out to right.
But he's a stand-up guy, and they're going to be standing up and asking him what happened in the 6th inning, because it's just very rare. I mean, pass balls in today's game, unless it's a knuckleball pitcher, you just don't see that many. Catchers are good. They work hard at their position, the trait, and sometimes it just does not work well for him. He blocked so many balls tonight that were way out in front of home plate, and I was always like to see, you know, you block one, save a run, you have a pass ball, it evens out. Just doesn't work that way, though. But it's always frustrating for a catcher, and to know that this does not work out, especially some pitches that should have been caught.
Big shift on for Vogt. Vogt hits one high in the air, right center, but playable. And Pollock, the center fielder, takes charge. So that's one out here in the 9th inning.
Second baseman, Laurie.
So the A's, after winning the first game of that series in Seattle on Monday and lost Tuesday and Wednesday, so they're trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. First pitch to Laurie in the dirt. Tomorrow, Felix Doubront and Jhoulys Chacin. Our coverage starts at 4:30 with A's pregame live. So the lefty Doubront.
Well, it started this road trip with him winning, or actually him starting, and then the bullpen did a great job to beat Seattle. As we're hoping they would not have to wait for his next start for them to win the second game on the trip.
Max Muncy has come out into the on-deck circle. Fastball fouled straight back at 94 miles an hour. Laurie looking for his first hit. Fly out, strike out, ground out. And that fastball ran in on the hands of Laurie.
Well, he swings hard that stride and then gets him on the left foot. He felt it for about 2 seconds and pain gone. I don't think anything can hurt him. Especially playing this late in the season. Last year 70 games and this year 129th for the club. And when he hasn't played, he's been given a scheduled day off. So it's good to see him in the lineup every day.
Spoils a pretty good pitch there by Hernandez. So another 2-2. Here it is, and another foul ball.
See the padding on the right shoulder, that extension. At one time that was never there, but it's there to, it's loose, but it's there to protect the right shoulder, the throwing shoulder. Only on the right side do you have the flap that moves around. Left side is permanent. But that little extension, and that time it might have helped Steele with the ball hitting in that area.
This one fouled to our right.
I would be feeling a lot better now if I'd had all that equipment there.
Yeah, you would not be injured at all. Well, you'd still be a little banged up.
But they have extensions over the knees, over the feet. I mean, look at the knees. That shot right above the knee. Got the knee savers.
Sure.
All kinds of good stuff.
High and deep. And that baby's gone. Oh, my goodness gracious. It almost went in the sports grill, right?
That's right. And a great shot was Brett Lawrie putting his bat down and then taking a trot. He knew he had crushed it. Talk about catching up to a fastball.
I don't even know if crushing it is the best way to describe it.
That's true.
It almost went in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Just to the right of the restaurant.
Well, Chip Hill went out to make sure that it was going to be the pinch hitter. Doesn't really matter. Brett Lawrie, get into it. And he knew it was gone, put the bat down, and sounded great. He knew it was gone. And maybe we could just see where it landed. He did not bother to look and see where we're going to see it land right here. Follow the ball.
That staircase just to the right of the opening to the restaurant is where it landed. So we estimated 470 feet.
Good luck.
Well, the long home run by Lawrie all of a sudden makes this game interesting. Now you get a runner aboard, you get the tying run to the plate. So Ziegler comes in, he's the closer, and he's having a very fine season. A 1.47 ERA, 23 saves, 2 blown saves as he faces Max Muncy, who takes inside. Simeon is the on-deck hitter.
And I'm sure Brad Ziegler, who pitched for the A's and pitched very well, started his career with about 31 consecutive scoreless innings and did a great job. But now with the Diamondbacks,
off a Goldschmidt into right field for a hit. A very hard hit ball by Muncy. And in this ballpark, getting the tying run to the plate is a big deal.
That's exactly right. And one out, and Brad Ziegler just threw a fastball down the middle. Max Muncy, always very patient. And Goldschmidt, a bullet scorcher. And he tried to put a glove on it and a little backhand, which is that's about all he could do. And
first pitch to Simeon, to the backstop, and it's 0-1.
That pitch there, and it's a hard sinker down and in, sinker ball pitcher that Ziegler is. Now you have the third baseman guarding the line a little bit. 21 consecutive saves for Brad Ziegler, and J.J. Putz the longest by the Diamondbacks. But for Ziegler, I said, are you still throwing that hard sinker down and in? And he said, well, I'm throwing more outside with the fastball like that. And he said the surgery on his knee last year, the microfracture surgery that he had in September, kind of affected him a little bit to where he is not so much down and in with the sinker, but the fastball away plus the slider. But he's from down under. It always makes it difficult, and that's why Simeon hit a ball towards the A's dugout and scared a few people.
It has it out at second, on to first, double play, and that's the ball game. So Ziegler comes in and he gets the double play ball, and the Diamondbacks hang on to win it tonight. So game one of this series goes to Arizona. It took 2 hours and 56 minutes in front of 30,059. Final score tonight from Chase Field in Phoenix. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks 6 and the Oakland Athletics 4. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Pip Roberts starts right now.